Hello students of class 7. This is Sir Anthony Kashung, your social science teacher. Today we will learn the first part of a lesson, that is chapter 6, Human Environment, the first part from geography. Well, before we go into the details of this very lesson, first of all, let us see together some of the keywords that will appear in this very lesson. The first one is nomadic. Nomadic means people who move from one place to another in search of food. Settlement, the cluster of houses where people live. Transport, movement of people and goods from one place to another. Metro rail, underground rail services. Communication, sending messages and ideas from one person to another. Well, in the early days, people lived by hunting and food gathering, and also those people who lived by hunting and food gathering, they move from one place to another in search of their food. Okay, such type of livelihood or such styles of living is what we call as nomadic life. All right, but after the introduction of agriculture and they started to domesticate animal, all right, so they started to have a permanent settlement. So today in this lesson we are going to see some of the permanent settlement. So settlement means the cluster of houses where people live. Without houses, right, without shelter, settlement is not possible. So settlement is the cluster of houses where people live. So settlement, there are three factors that make the growth of this settlement. The first one is availability of water in the places where they are available, in the form of river, in the form of lake, in the form of pond and all, or even in the desert oasis. This settlement is possible. The next one is topography. Topography means the shape or the height of the land, so to say. There is a plain, hill, mountainous region. So people do not live on the steep hill slope in a cliff and all, right? So this topography is also important. Another one is natural beauties. This is also one of the factor for the growth of settlement. Well, so settlement may be a rural settlement as well as urban settlement. Rural settlement are those people who engage in primary occupations such as agriculture, fishing, as well as animal husbandry or cattle rearing and all. This is what we call as primary occupations. Those people who live in rural areas, they will have these occupations. Whereas in the urban settlement, most of the people will engage in secondary occupations such as those workers in the industry and all are secondary, they are employed as secondary occupations, and those services, tertiary occupations. So likewise, we have two broadly classified into two. One is rural settlement and another one is urban settlement. So first of all, let us see rural settlements. There are two types of rural settlement. The first one is what we call as dispersed settlement, and the second one is compact settlement. Okay, so from this picture you can see the houses that has been scattered or isolated from one house to another. Okay, so this is what we call as dispersed settlement. So generally these type of dispersed settlement are found in the hilly regions, okay, or in farmlands where cattle rearing or livestock is the main occupations of the people. And on the other hand, in a compact settlement, you can see from the picture, houses are built close around a center. So the houses that are located in the compact settlement are close to each other. Alright. Usually they are found in plains or near rivers, and at the very place schools and markets are available. Okay, in order to serve the people. Let's see the next one. And rural settlement is also categorized into different patterns. Patterns means the styles of this settlement, so to say. Okay, so the first one is linear pattern. So in linear pattern, as you see in the diagram, houses are built along a river or a canal or a railway track or even a road. So when the houses are built along this river, canal, railway track or a road, this is what we call as linear pattern of rural settlement. Okay, one of the best example, even from the picture you can see it is an aerial view of a certain settlement here in a river in Imphal. And here one of the best example is NH2, National Highway number 2, okay, in Manipur, is one of the best example of this linear pattern of settlement. Next, another pattern, circular pattern. So from this diagram, it developed around a pond or an oasis. Okay, oasis or a pond. So you can see from this diagram itself, at the initial stage they will have a semicircle, but later on they will have a complete circle of this very area. So that is what we call a circular pattern from this picture. And the picture you can see it here. In the middle there is a pond, and all around this pond are houses. Alright, this is a circular pattern of settlement, rural settlement. Another type of settlement is a rectangular pattern. Rectangular pattern means the pattern refers to two routes close to each other. When two routes, either it may be a road or it may be a railway or either it may be a river, cross each other at the right angle. Houses are built all along all routes. Okay, so even from this picture or from this diagram, this type of settlement is a rectangular pattern of rural settlement. So most of the houses in the Great Plains of India, in northern plains, most of the settlements are in rectangular pattern. Let's see the next one. Triangular pattern. Triangular pattern usually develops at the confluence of two rivers. So from this diagram, when two rivers joint, or when two rivers are met at a certain point, so in between that two rivers, if a village is located, or if a village is developed at the confluence of these two rivers, we can say it is a triangular pattern of rural settlement. Alright, so from this picture, this very village, it lies between these two rivers, which is a triangular pattern of settlement. Alright, and sometimes a settlement could be also developed in a star-like pattern when roads, okay, or railways or rivers intersect at a point and form like a star. So the settlement could develop in this area. So that's what we call as star-like pattern. So these are some of the patterns of rural settlement. Now we'll go straight away to urban settlement. Urban settlement are usually a compact. Okay, houses are constructed very closely to one another, and urban settlement have amenities or facilities like schools, hospitals, banks, etc. Alright, and not only that, urban settlements are categorized into many different types of towns or cities. So the first one is what we call as administrative towns. Administrative towns consists of the headquarters of administrative departments of central as well as state government. This is uh, this is a administrative type of towns or administrative type of urban settlement, so to say. Imphal is developed because of the administrative headquarters, okay, the departments of central and state government. So you can see from the picture here, this is a Imphal town, okay. It is developed because of the department of central and state governments. Another one is defense towns. Defense towns are developed or are there because of military activities and army establishment. So one of the best example is Jalandhar in Punjab. So this is the city of Jalandhar, which is in Punjab. It is a type of defense town urban settlement, so to say, defense urban settlement. Okay, they are developed because of the military activities and army establishment. Let's see the next one. Cultural towns. They have cultural functions, centers of arts, culture, education. Alright. So Shanti Niketan, which is in West Bengal, is one of the example. And also from the picture, this is the Oxford, which is a culturally very popular. It's a cultural town. Even in Manipur, we have Moirang. When you go to Moirang, they have a cultural heritage of this Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, as well as there's Moirang, there's Thoibi, Khamba, whatever it may be. Okay, so these are cultural towns. Another another type of town is what we call as a mining town. Mining towns or mining type of urban settlement is developed in mining areas where there is a mine. So one of the best example is Dhanbad, which is in Jharkhand. Okay, let's go to the next one. Religious towns. Religious towns are the center of religious activities. One of the best example is Varanasi in UP. Here in the picture you will be able to see there. And also Jerusalem. Okay, most of the Christians. It is in Israel. So it's a religious town. The place is developed because of the religious importance of this Jerusalem. One of the all the Christian religion are so to say developed from this very place. Okay, and in a religious town they have many religious buildings, as well as they have many shops selling religious books and religious symbols and religious replicas and all. Alright, so this is what we call as religious towns. The next one is industrial town. It is developed due to industries. One of the best example in India is Jamshedpur. Because of the Tata steel industry, this town has been developed in Jamshedpur itself, which is in Jharkhand. Another example, you can see the picture here at the top of this, Osaka, which is in Japan. Osaka is also developed because of different types of industries. So this is industrial towns. Another type of town or another type of urban settlement is market town. It is developed because of the market. Alright, so these towns are usually dominated by traders or businessmen, and this very place act as a market point for exchange of different goods. Alright, and they also distribute as well as collecting centers. They will distribute their products as well as they will collect different products from that market. This is what we call as market town. One of the best example in the world is Chicago. Chicago in United States of America. That is a very important market town of the United States. And in India, Kanpur, which is in UP, Uttar Pradesh, this is also a type of this market town. So these are some of the important points of this very lesson. I'm sure I wish you should go through the textbook as well as you learn all the notes from the study materials. Alright, may God bless you all. Once again, thank you so much for joining this class and participating in this learning. Thank you.